to the Soul Fire podcast, where healing is raw, truth is sacred, and your story gets to burn and rebuild in the same breath. I'm Power Coach Alicia, pattern breaker, soul mirror, fire starter, and the unapologetic voice of the burn it down and rise anyways revolution. We don't fluff your wounds, we don't filter your truth, and we don't water down healing so that people stay comfortable. You've spent way too damn long proving your worth to people who only love the version of you that stayed small, quiet, and convenient. If you've ever swallowed your truth to keep the peace, shrunk yourself to stay chosen, or disappeared in your life, this season isn't just a reset or another motivational podcast. This is where you reclaim your voice, your fire, and your fucking self. I'll give you the truth that heals, frameworks that hold, and soul codes that will change how you live, lead, love, and rise. Lovey, come forward. It's time for you to embody your wholeness. And I'm not only leading this season, I'm living it right beside you. Let's fucking go. So I want to talk to you today about why nothing you do actually sticks. And it's because of the soul versus the strategy gap. Over the last couple of episodes, I've been talking to you about your birth chart, soul, and wealth blueprint, and how the merge of them together is how you exceed your income goals and feel whole, free, and aligned in your soul all at the same time. Because, you know, in this world that we live in, we're conditioned to believe that everything is this or that. Like, you have to choose between two things. Like, you're taught that you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? And what I want to introduce to you is that you can feel aligned and free and whole in your soul while exceeding your income goals at the same time. Both can be true for you at the same time. You do not have to choose between them. However, if you do not know what your birth chart, soul, and wealth blueprint is, how you are designed to build wealth and heal your soul, you're going to always be in this battle inside of yourself between your happiness and your success. And that's what I'm here to help you with. Because I help badass business women exceed their income goals without starting over every time something feels like it fails, by aligning their strategy with their birth chart, soul, and wealth blueprint, okay? So if you've tried every strategy, you've tried every healing modality and nothing sticks, not the funnels or the breath work or launches or the journaling, or if you feel like, oh my God, I get results for like 5 fucking minutes and then I'm right back where I started, the reason is because you are trying, and I use that word very intentionally, you're trying to fix a soul problem with a strategy solution, or you're trying to fix a strategy problem with soul work. Trust me, I have fucking been there. I've done that for, 10 years. Oh my God. So that's what I'm here, because the truth is you need both. And your birth chart, like I said, shows you exactly which strategy plus which healing work you need to finally break the cycle. And today I'm going to show you why nothing has stuck and how to close that gap. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today. So when you're a badass businesswoman, right, and you have these big goals and you want to exceed these goals and you want to, do what you set out to do, you end up strategy hopping plus healing hopping. So I want to dive into strategy hopping and healing hopping because I want you to understand it so you can start catching yourself doing it. And the reason why you're doing it is because you don't know your soul blueprint. You don't know your wealth blueprint. So you're literally just going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, trying to figure out what works and what sticks for you, right? You don't know what works and what sticks for you. And also, if you are not in tune with yourself, if you are not paying attention to the divine guidance, you won't even recognize what works on strategy and what works on healing for you that is part of your blueprint, because you don't have that connection with your, what I call your your inner nudge for good, that inner divine guidance that's leading you, or your higher self, whatever the hell you want to call it. You don't have that powerful connection with it. You can't hear it, right? Because you're overriding it by the push, the force, the hustle, the should do, must do, have to just get through the day emotionally, or just to make the next dollar. So we're going to start with the strategy side. So let's say you try a funnel for your business and it doesn't work immediately, so you just scrap the whole thing. Or you try a launch and you don't hit your goal, so you pivot to something else. You hire a business coach, you follow their blueprint to the letter, but it doesn't stick. You build momentum for 30, 60, 90 days doing this work, and then you abandon it and you start all the way over. You call it being strategic or pivoting or optimizing, but the truth is, you are literally feeling like a failure and like whatever you did failed, so you start over. But what you don't realize is what failed is that you built it in someone else's frequency. Then you have the healing side. You try the breath work and it feels incredible in the moment, but the pattern returns the next day or the next week. You journal every single morning and you feel clear, but then your income doesn't change. You go to sound baths and energy healings and meditation retreats and you feel like you're transformed. But then when you go back to business, nothing's different. You call it doing the inner work, but the outer results never come or they don't sustain. And what the disconnect is that you're treating them as separate problems. Business problem over here, soul problem over there. Strategy is for making money and healing is for feeling better, but they're not separate. They're the same problem. And until you align both with your birth chart, which is your wealth blueprint and your soul blueprint, nothing is going to stick. Because here's the absolute truth. Let's say you have the perfect business strategy for your second house. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the last episode, which is your Wealth and Soul Blueprint 101. Really, we focused on the wealth blueprint side and pulling pieces out of the birth chart, but we talked about the soul blueprint too. So if you don't know what I'm talking about here with the second house, go back to that Wealth Blueprint 101 episode and listen to it. It'll help it make a little more sense. Okay, so you can have the perfect business strategy for your second house. But if you have not healed your Chiron wound, then the strategy won't work or the strategy won't stick. And you can do all the healing work you want. But if your strategy isn't aligned with your design, you'll heal and heal and heal and heal and heal and still feel like you're broken. Still feel like there's something wrong with you. Still feel disconnected from yourself. Still feel like whatever the thing was that you were attempting to heal is still not quite healed. This is the soul verse strategy gap, okay? And it's why nothing you try actually sticks. So now I want to talk to you about the worthiness wound and why you keep splitting them. Because see, deep down, you don't believe that you can have both wealth and soul alignment. I was talking to you about this at the beginning of the episode. You think you have to choose, be spiritual or be rich, be healed or be successful, do soul work or make money. So you pick one and you abandon the other. In the why you feel like you're failing and you end up starting over 2 episodes ago, it was episode 24, I believe. I talked to you about my story and how I always felt like I had to choose one or the other. And it was so shitty for me because listen, when you focus on business, you feel empty. Your soul is starving, right? You're making money, but you feel dead inside or lonely or disconnected. It doesn't have to be so dramatic like dead inside, but something's off, something's missing, right? And that's what makes you abandon things and start over or shift things that don't need to be shifted or pivoted when you don't need to be pivoting. And when you focus on healing, you feel broke, like you don't have enough money. Your wallet's starving. And you might feel better and more transformed, but you can't pay your bills, or you can, but you're just not living the life that you really want to for the whole fucking reason why you built your business in the first place. If that sounds familiar, keep listening. You are in the right fucking place. It's why I'm doing this work. It's why I've merged your birth chart wealth blueprint and your birth chart soul blueprint. Okay. And then if you have the wound underneath it all, which is your Chiron wound, and that's whispering, you can't have both. Choose. That puts you in this really shitty place, right? Like, fuck, man. Here's the thing though. It's a lie. Your birth chart shows you that you're meant to have both wealth and soul, strategy and healing, money and meaning. The reason why you haven't had both yet, though, is because you've been trying to get them separately instead of integrating them. So your 12th house is usually a subconscious sabotage. So here's what's really happening when you abandon a strategy right before it works. So, right before it works, your subconscious is running a program, and that program is saying success isn't safe. Listen, Queen, if this episode lights something up, don't just sit with it. Come rise with us. The Soul Fire podcast is your weekly reminder that healing isn't about fixing who you are. It's about remembering who the fuck you've always been. And if you're craving more than just words, if you want community, authentic power, momentum, and soul transformation, then I want you to come join us in the free Star Guided Soul Healing community. This isn't another group. It's a vortex of women who are done pretending, who are reclaiming their power, their voice, and their divine assignment, and who know they were never meant to do this alone. Inside, we speak truth. We rise with soul-coded frameworks like Rise Times 3 and AUA, plus your own soul-coded values. We break patterns, we burn illusions, and we build empires because we rise. So come be witnessed, come be held, come be at home. Check out the link in the show notes. And please remember to subscribe, share, and send this podcast to a queen who's ready to rise. Now, back to the fire. Okay. Yeah, success isn't safe. Maybe success meant being seen, and being seen meant being hurt, though. So you don't want to be seen because you don't want to be hurt, but you want the success. But if you're not seen, you're not going to have the success. And thus the insanity loop goes. Or maybe success meant outshining someone, and that felt dangerous. Well, if you define success as outshining someone, and that feels dangerous, but you want success and you believe that you would have to outshine someone else in order to have that success, you're never going to have it because of the dangerous feeling. Thus, that insanity loop. Maybe success meant having power, and the power felt like responsibility you didn't want. It's just too much, right? So success means having power, but then the responsibility feels overwhelming. But in order for you to have the success, you've got to take the responsibility and gain the power, even if you don't want to. And then that insanity loop. So what happens is your subconscious protects you by sabotaging you right before you exceed your income goals. And it does it in ways that seem small or like they're insignificant. Like you forget to follow up with that lead, or you stop posting right when your content is getting traction. You abandon the strategy right when it's about to work. You get too busy to show up for your business. Every single one of these I did for 10 years, not straight. It was an insanity loop, right? At times over 10 years to sabotage it. And I can promise you, after spending $800,000 on different strategies, no amount of strategy will work if your subconscious is sabotaging you, especially when your subconscious sabotages you in these seemingly insignificant ways. And no amount of healing will stick if you're not addressing the strategy misalignment at the same fucking time. You need both. The aligned strategy, which is your wealth blueprint, and the subconscious clearing, which is your soul blueprint. And now let's layer in the fear of being seen, which is Saturn coming into play here. So underneath all of this that we just talked about, there's a fear of what will happen if you actually do succeed, a fear of being visible, of being judged, of outgrowing your current life or partner, a fear of what people will say when you do rise and you do have the success and you are living the life that you want. So you keep yourself small by staying in the cycle, and it's all happening subconsciously because this fear is playing in the subconscious real. And that means that you create this meaning that starting over equals staying safe. I did it too. Finishing what you start equals being visible, which feels terrifying. So in this example, this is Saturn's test. Saturn shows you where you need to build mastery. But first, before you can build the mastery, you have to face the fear. And the healing work isn't just meditation and journaling. It's somatic, like in your body. It's releasing the fear from your body so that the strategy can actually land. You need both. The visible strategy, which is the wealth blueprint, and the fear release work, which is the soul blueprint. So what alignment actually looks like when you close the soul versus the strategy gap, let's go back to, or actually let's go through a couple of scenarios here. So here's what it actually looks like. So let's say it's the woman who kept abandoning her launches. Okay, she would constantly set up and do the launches, but then she would abandon them. So on the wealth side, there's misalignment. She's forcing a big launch strategy, open cards, closed cards, doing it all again. But our second house in Taurus, remember, we talked about this in the last episode, which is the Birth Chart Wealth Blueprint 101. Go back and listen to it. But her second house was in Taurus. It shows that she's designed for consistent recurring income. So launches felt exhausting because they weren't her frequency. She's not a launch person. She's someone who's more than likely a membership person. Maybe she's designed for a high ticket program that have payment plans that stretch the length of the program for that recurring income. As a Taurus second house, it would be more like the high ticket, as we talked about in the last episode, because Tauruses love money, nice things, the way things feel, like textiles, like things like that. So high ticket's going to really fit more of the Taurus. But the point is, she's built for that recurring income and that consistency. Launches bring a huge flood, and then there's space between the next until the next launch. On the soul side, there's the unhealed wound in her Chiron in the second house, which revealed a deep worthiness around receiving. So every time money came in, she'd subconsciously push it away. She didn't believe that she could hold wealth. But see, these are not conscious thoughts. That's why we're talking about it subconsciously here, right? She subconsciously pushed it away because subconsciously she didn't believe she could hold wealth. The gap is that she's forcing the wrong strategy plus avoiding the worthiness healing. And if she doesn't even know she needs to heal in the worthiness sector, and she doesn't know that she's doing the wrong strategy, she abandons what she's doing, feeling like a failure, and starts over. So if she shifted to a membership model with a recurring revenue, that would align with the Taurus second house. And if she did the daily worthiness meditation plus the inner child work, let's say, that would heal her Chiron in the second. The strategy would match her design, plus the healing would clear the block. The result would be $15,000 plus in recurring revenue within 6 months. No more launches, no more exhaustion, just aligned sustainable wealth. Because her wealth blueprint and her soul blueprint are aligned. From the last episode, the woman who felt empty despite success. On the wealth side, she had partial alignment. Her business was making $10,000 a month with one-on-one clients, but her 10th house in Sagittarius showed she's meant to teach at scale, not do one-on-one forever. She had money, but she felt trapped, burnt out, and exhausted. So on the soul side, she had an unhealed shadow. Her North Node in Leo showed that she's meant to be seen, but she was hiding behind one-on-one. She was meant to be seen by a lot more people, make a much bigger impact, but because she was only serving clients one-on-one, she wasn't living in that energy that the Leo's calling for. And her shadow belief is, if I'm too visible, people will see that I'm a fraud. She was playing small to protect herself. Again, subconsciously. So in this gap, she had a strategy that made money, right? Good money, actually, 6 figures a year. But it didn't fulfill her soul. And she was avoiding the visibility that her North Node was calling forward over a shadow self-sabotage. So if she shifted to group programs and speaking, that would have aligned with her Sagittarius 10th house. And if she did the shadow work around not being enough, plus visibility challenges, that would be in alignment with her North Node in Leo and heal that. So the strategy would fulfill her soul, plus the healing would give her the courage to be seen. And the result would be 30K months teaching at scale, plus feeling alive for the first time in years, and the money increased and the soul was fed. Okay? For the woman who kept starting over. On the wealth side, she had the right strategy, but the wrong execution. Her second house was in Gemini, which showed multiple income streams, right? Courses, coaching, speaking. She was designed for variety, but she kept abandoning each stream right before it took off. So on the soul side, the subconscious block that she would have in her 12th house revealed deep subconscious self-sabotage. And every single time she got close to success, she'd lose interest or get distracted. Her subconscious was protecting her from an old belief. Success means that I will be alone. So the gap that she would need to bridge, or the gap that she would bridge, would be she had the right strategy for her design, but her subconscious was blocking it from working. So all she would have needed to do was committed to maintaining all three income streams, which are aligned with the Gemini second house. And she did weekly breath work to access her subconscious plus her energy, or blah, blah. And if she also did weekly breath work to access the subconscious plus her energy clearing, that would heal her 12th house. The strategy was right, plus the healing cleared the sabotage. The result? 3 income streams bringing in 20K a month. No more starting over, no more self-sabotage, just momentum. So the pattern you need to see here with the soul versus the strategy gap is the why nothing sticks. It doesn't stick because in order for it to stick, you need the right strategy for your wealth blueprint. And you need to heal the blocks your soul blueprint reveals. And when you close that gap, everything clicks. The strategy works because it matches your design. The healing lands because you're addressing the real block. The income flows because nothing's in the way anymore. The soul feels whole because you're finally building in your frequency. And this is how I help badass women exceed their income goals without starting over every time something feels like it fails. By aligning her strategy with her birth chart, soul, and wealth blueprint. Remember, your birth chart reveals both sides, the wealth blueprint and the soul blueprint, because you can't have one without the other. So here's the question, Queen. Are you going to keep starting over? Or are you ready to align with your design and finally build something that sticks for you? Because if you're ready to stop the cycle, I will show you how. I will show you how. So your very first step in doing that is getting your free mini money birth chart reading. Okay, I'm going to pull your second house. I'm going to show you how you are designed to make money. And then from there, if you're ready to go deeper, then we will align your full strategy with your birth chart so that you stop starting over and finally exceed your income goals. And then from there, you can book a free money clarity call. Okay. On that call, 15, 20 minutes, and I'm going to show you exactly where your money is out of alignment and what needs to shift. Okay. So 2 free things. Very first thing is your free mini money birth chart reading. We're going to pull the second house, see where you're at. From there, if you want to go to the next step, it's also free, 15, 20-minute call. It's your money clarity call where we're going to dive deeper into what's out of alignment and what needs to shift. You don't have to keep starting over. You get to align, you get to build, and you get to finish what you start. And when you do, the wealth will flow, the momentum will build, and the soul queendom will rise. So click the link in the description of this episode. It'll take you over to my Facebook Messenger. Send me a message that says Queen. That puts you on the list for your free mini money birth chart reading. We'll do the reading. From there, if you want to go to the next step, that is the free money clarity call. We'll go into that. And then from there, if you want to go into the next step, I have a free strategy clarity call. So I have 3 free offers for you, but it starts with the mini money birth chart reading. Then we go to the money clarity call. And then from there, if we're still in alignment, we go into the strategy clarity call. Okay. So with that being said, click the link below and at least send me a message that says Queen on Facebook so we can get you moving. Okay. So here's the thing. I dropped 3 episodes today. So hopefully you've listened to all of them. They're back to back to back. Okay. So the first one is why you feel like a failure and you keep starting over, right? Then I went in and taught you your birth chart wealth blueprint 101, how you are designed to make money and where that's shown in your chart. And then this episode that is all about why nothing you do actually sticks, and it's the soul versus the strategy gap, right? We went through all of these different things and we laid them out so that you can get on the frequency, on the path that you want to be on to get to where you want to go. But listen, if you don't click the link in the show notes and send me a message that says Queen, you're going to be in the same place that you're in right now. I told you it's free. It's literally for free. Money clarity call, free. There's nothing for sale on that call. That's just helping you go a little bit deeper. So the thing is like, you have nothing to lose here. And I want to say welcome to the work. Welcome to alignment, and welcome home to yourself and literal business that is soul aligned. Okay? Because that's what we're doing here. So remember that the world needs who you were made to be. So show up every single fucking day as the badass you are and slay. And if no one's told you today, you are worth it. You are always worth it. I'm Power Coach Alicia, and we'll see you next time. Embody this. Choose yourself so completely that nobody gets to question your worth again. Extend to your soul the same mercy you once gave away to people who fucking dropped it. And stop shrinking to be chosen by people who can't even hold you. You're not a placeholder. You're the fucking revolution. So show up, speak up, and burn the damn box. I'm Power Coach Alicia, and this is your invitation to rise.